Today on Chat Off the Mat, I welcome Julie Dammar. Julie is a former actress, filmmaker, and the creator and host of the Selective Hearing podcast. Julie has shared her stories through her professional work while finding solace in creative expression. Selective Hearing and her debut book, Sink Full of Dishes, is an extension of all her creative endeavors where she aims to inspire you with experiences. Welcome, Julie. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing great, and I'm so happy that you're here. I've been really looking forward to our conversation. I've been listening to your podcast and just absorbing all of your amazing energy. So
Well, thank
let's
you.
let's begin by if you tell us about yourself and in your words, and let's also touch upon a little bit about um, how you got to where you are today with your podcast and also what inspired you to write your book. I know it's a lot, but we'll break it down. I know you're great at storytelling, so the floor is yours.
Okay, let me get comfortable in my chair because it is a lot. Um, so we'll go back. I'll start with the podcast, how I developed selective hearing, because then that is kind of like the stairway to the book. So selective hearing started during the pandemic and my second pregnancy as a social media trauma dump that was packaged as a live podcast recording. And I did all the things with it, the promo rollout. Hey, everybody, I'm going to be going live. I'm doing this. I took my own pictures. Like, it was a whole thing. And then when I actually got on the couch and started talking to people, it was none of the things that I had imagined it to be. It ended up becoming a trauma dump, a therapy session, a hey, everybody, listen to me complain about politics, my life, all the things that were happening in pop culture, all that stuff, right? So I'm doing that. And as I'm doing that, I had somebody say to me, like privately, like, okay, girl, listen, what's going on? Clearly, you're ready to talk about some stuff. Can you get some help? And during that, too, I was telling myself, like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I said I wasn't okay the first time during my first pregnancy, had my son, went back to work, covered it all up, lost my job during the pandemic, got pregnant again, came back around to my couch talking crazy to people. And it was like, okay, girl, yeah, you might be right. I need some help. I'm not okay. So I started talking to people. I pulled away from doing Facebook Live. I structured everything and I came back with first Selective Hearing, the blog, which if you go back and read it, it's a trauma dump. So I just stopped talking to people about it, started writing about it. And I noticed though, as I was going through the motions, I was getting better. Not just like better with the way that I was communicating my feelings and handling things, but like I was overall getting better with the address of all the stuff that was like conjured up in me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to come back around with the podcast. And that was another question that people were like, okay, well, I kind of see some difference, some change in you. What are you doing? And I'm like, well, I got help. I got a coach, I got a therapist, I got help, I got a journal, I got all these things going on. So I was like, okay, I got an idea. How about I do this thing where I have this podcast, but I bring on people who can help the listeners.
Mm.
So people who are just like me, because like when you're like, okay, I need help, right? I need a lot of help. But where do I go for that help? Like you go on Google and you type help me and you get like 90 billion pages of stuff that doesn't make any sense. You start diagnosing yourself. Oh, this symptom is me. I got this. Like by the time like you need to be on a psych ward. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's scale it back. And instead of you guys going on Dr. Google, I have a resource page. So after every single episode, you can, if you like the person, you can like reach out to them and say, hey, I got this going on. Can you help me? And it's from a wide range of areas too. It's not just my trauma that we're talking about when I bring these guests on, because I also learned as I was going through the process that if your life is messed up in one area, it's inevitable. It's going to spill over to everything you have going on. So I could not figure out why my marriage was trash for a while. It's because I had this going on. I couldn't figure out why I was struggling with being a new mom because I had all this other stuff tucked away. Why am I struggling with keeping this business alive? Why am I stopping and starting things, getting mad with people, can't keep friends, you name it?
Right.
I'm doing it all right. So
Yeah.
these people who come on Selective Hearing and have these conversations with me are also people who are like, hey, you having issues with your job? Let me help you. You having issues with, setting boundaries and making sure that you keep the promises that you made to yourself? Let me help you. Or, hey, you got some deep rooted trauma that you need to resolve, and you got to get these things out of your body so you can really heal on a deeper level than, girl, let me go get my nails done and my hair done and all that stuff.
True.
I'm
True.
here to help you. So that's what Selective Hearing is in a nutshell. And then from there, because what I learned going through my stuff is the reason why I have such a hard time with everything is because of the things that I'm telling myself. All the stuff I'm telling myself that I can't do, all the stuff that I'm telling myself I'm not good at, all the stuff I'm telling myself I don't deserve, I'm not worthy of. That was an issue that was like, I was carrying this chick called Monica.
Yeah, let's talk about Monica.
Yeah, I want to tell you guys all about her. So my inner critical voice, or my negative narrator, noisy roommate, the gremlin in me, her name is Monica. And Monica tells me horrible things every single day. She tells me about what I can't do. She asks me why I'm trying things. She asks me, what's your problem? So I had to understand that this was a big thing that was stopping me in my tracks and holding me back. And the reason why is because Monica speaks to me the same way that my parents spoke to me, that my family members spoke to me. She tells me the exact same things that were told to me as a kid, except now Monica's voice doesn't sound like my mom and my dad and those family members. It sounds like me. Like she a little bit more raspy, and she got a tinge of hood to her, but Monica is me. And she's like, she comes for me all the time. So I decided to write a book about her. So I pulled Monica out of me. I gave her her own name, her own family, her own nice house, her own everything, friends, you think about it. And all those negative things that she's capable of saying to herself, I made her say them out loud, and I made her say them to herself, and I put it on paper. And I wrote this whole book to show people how deep that inner voice can be and the impact that it can have on our lives.
First of all, you've been placed on this path to help others. Your background is creative expression, right?
Mhm.
And you're using that. You're using Monica. You're using your book. You're using your podcast to heal yourself and also to heal others, right?
Yes.
So Monica came from a child, like all those inner voices or those outer voices that you heard that you just kind of integrated in your body, and that she just kind of stuck in there all those lives, and now you're helping others with helping them tame that inner critic, right? Through
Yeah.
your expressive action, your show, your book and your show. So how often is Monica present now? Now that you've done doing a lot of the work on yourself, is what kind of relationship are you now having with Monica? Are you like now pushing back a
I'm
little bit?
pushing back. We argue. We argue. And
Yes.
we used to argue out loud. I spoke about this in a couple interviews and on my show, but in the beginning, I felt like the only way to shut her down was to be just as loud as her. So I used to say things like lies. Like when she would show up, I would out loud say lies. I'd be like, girl, not today. Not today. No. And like people would, because I'll do it in public, would look at me like, who is she talking to? And I'd be like, I'd be like,
That
oh,
imaginary friend who's not a
yeah,
friend all the time.
right. I'm like, oh, my bad. It's okay. I'm good. And like people walking past me in the store with the side eye, like, what? And I'm just like, if they only knew, like if you only knew what people are going through. But that was my way of telling her, chill out. I got this.
Yeah.
Now, when she shows up, and she does, I'm seeing her show up when I'm working the most now. But now when she shows up, I'm just like, girl, quietly. I can stop. I can breathe. I can take a moment wherever I'm at. And I'm like, what's up? What's the problem? I got this. I know this. I'm handling this. I'm doing it. And I just move on from there. And I give her the space to kind of show me why she's setting off all these alarms, what she's afraid of, what she doesn't believe that I can achieve. And it's not really because, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this, or I'm not capable of it. It's because she's afraid of something. And I try to figure out what happened there. What does this directly relate to from my past that has her kind of being trippy today? And then I just move through those spaces. I give her and myself the grace to do so. And I just keep pushing. Sometimes that push is a lot harder because I'm the revelations that are being made. Like, I don't want to make any light of this because some of us have some deeper things going on than others, and all of our trauma, regardless of how big or how small, is very relevant, and we didn't deserve it. But I got beat down a lot in a lot of different areas of my life. We're talking, I experienced sexual abuse, I experienced verbal abuse, I experienced physical abuse. My life was very hard for a long time. So when she pops out, sometimes the things that she's coming at me with are very deep and very hard, and I'm going to move through it, but there's some challenges to be met there some days, and I won't act like there's not.
Yeah, she's there to help you identify what you need to work on and to overcome or work with those things like fear. Like fear is so a part of a lot of people's lives. And I think women, like I know I've experienced that too. And I've had that really bad inner voice as well. And I know you said that Monica shows up a lot for you before you even get on your podcast, let's say. And I get that before we want to do something like a really excited and proud. And then, how does she show up? Like, what is like her dialogue, like before you show up for your podcast? She says like, you're not good enough, or what are you doing? Like kind of that voice, because I've heard similar.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And
this
it
morning she
go
showed
ahead.
up about my hair. And I told you about it. Like,
Yeah.
she was like, "Girl, you look a mess. What are you doing?" Like, and I was like, "Well, let me just find out if it's audio or video, because then I can figure out how much of a mess I need to tame."
And what did
That's
I
how I
say to
handle
and what
her.
did I say to you? I said to you, I said, you're gonna look beautiful no matter what, right?
You did. You
Yeah.
did.
Because sometimes we have to stop and say, it's really not the way we look. It's how we feel. And if we feel good, it doesn't matter if our hair is crazy, although I know we want to look good too. That's part of it. But yeah, that fear is brutal. And I'm listening to you talk, and I kind of wonder, and even for myself, the fear that we have, is it the fear that we're going to succeed? It's like, is something trying to prevent us from like crossing that threshold to success? And are we afraid of getting there? Are we worthy? Is the theme of worthiness come up a lot?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I When you grow up and have people that make you feel like you don't deserve anything, and you're not worthy of love, you're not worthy of opportunity, you don't deserve these things. Like, then when you start stepping into that light and these things start coming, like the question of, do I deserve this? Am I supposed to have this? It's like constant. And I know, like, even looking back, it's kind of like I have these hover moments, like the ghost of Christmas past, if you will,
Yeah.
where I'm like looking back at things and I'm like, there were so many times when I was younger where light was shining. I didn't see it then, but like now looking back at it, like light was shining. And the adults in my life, I know that they were capable of seeing it because they were shutting me down.
Yeah.
And it was never that I wasn't worthy or I didn't deserve it. It was always that they were afraid of it.
Yeah.
And their fear became my own. And I remind myself of that a lot because a lot of them are still not living life. A lot of them have even left this world and never lived life before they did it. So I can't let that become me. I
Right.
can't let that become that will not be my outcome. And I tell myself that a lot too when Monica shows up, like, you might be afraid of this, but it's okay, because that is scary. That is sad. Leaving this world and never reaching your potential is pure devastation. And I refuse to be that. I refuse.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of people, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I see a sense of there's a lot of people feel like they're victims. There's, why me? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And instead of looking at the positive of life, I always try to look at the glass full, like not half full, but all full. And I think it sets the tone for your life. And I may not have everything I want, but I have everything I need. It's really good to be positive. How is this spilled over to your other relationships? The Monica voice, the feeling of not feeling worthy or afraid.
Well, my husband and I have had a rocky road because of Monica and because of, my insecurities and things like that. She'll show up and tell me he's doing something he's not. Like I actually did a live and I was like, have you ever had an argument with your husband and he wasn't even home yet? Like straight cussing him decent and he's not even there. And then he walks through the door and you got the
Yes.
stale face and you don't want to talk to him. And he's like, what is going on? What I do? He's not even aware of it. He doesn't know at
Yeah.
all what is going on with you. What did he do? He doesn't know. And I didn't tell him because I'm exhausted by this point because me and Monica already cussed him out all day.
So true. Yep. Yes.
I had
Yeah.
to learn that. And a big thing of that is writing. Because as great as I am with talking, I didn't always know how to say the right things when it came to the things that made me most uncomfortable. So I had to write it down. And that helped me with learning to communicate with him in a healthy way. I can't be mad at you for something that you didn't know you did. Yeah, you may have left the sink full of dishes, or you may keep walking around here dropping your towel on the floor after you get out the shower, or leaving this and leaving there, and I'm walking behind you picking everything up like the maid. But if I don't tell you that's getting on my nerves, or if I don't make you aware of the things that I need, how can I be upset with you for not doing certain things,
Right.
That was something big that I had to, well, okay, Julie, your husband leaves the towel on the floor. Did you tell him? Did you ask him to stop? Or you need more hugs, or you need help with certain things. Did you tell him that you need help with certain things? Did you explain to him the challenges that you're facing and why you need more support? Well, no, I didn't. So how's he supposed to help you?
Right.
Now,
We
if you
think,
explain these things to him and he doesn't do anything, then you got a problem. But did you give him a chance first?
yeah. I think we
No.
think that they are supposed to know telepathically.
Hmm.
And then we get angry when they don't understand what it's like for us. It's so true. What do you do to replace those negative thoughts? Is there like a mantra that you have, or you just like kind of pause and you're like, okay, this is not true. Like, some people have like a phrase or word. You have your journaling. What is like some good takeaways or advice or tips that you can share about how you process that?
It's simple for me. It like literally when I said lies, I don't yell it out loud anymore, or not today, but I still say it.
So
I
lies,
still say
just saying
lies,
straight out, you're lying.
lies,
Yeah.
lies, because I have to let her know, like, that's a lie. Because
Yeah.
it was, like I know the things that are being repeated are things that were once said, and I'm like, those are lies. I am worthy. I am deserving. I am loved. I can do it. So when you're telling me I can't, or you're asking me why am I doing that? Because I can,
Mm,
because I do deserve it. And not just me, like removing me from it, other people deserve it. Because not everyone is going to use their voice this way because a lot comes with it. But hearing my voice, and like the greatest thing that was told to me is living your life grants someone else permission to live theirs.
yeah.
So hearing these things, being like, girl, like the feedback from my book, people saying, girl, I didn't know that was a thing. I do that. Oh my God. Like, one of my Amazon reviews said, like, it was so relatable. I felt like I was being read. Like, that is what I want. I want people to understand you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
You go through this, you feel these things, and guess what? It's okay. It's okay. Nobody ever told me it was okay to hurt. It was okay to want different. It was okay to be something. It's okay. And if I got to be that person in the book or on the podcast telling you, like, girl, it's okay, get up, go do it, go get that therapist, go get that coach, go find that community that's going to love and support you. You can walk away from your family and their mess. I'm going to be that voice.
Yeah. Walking away, I think setting boundaries, I think that's great advice. I love that. I've heard you say before in other podcasts where you've actually paused and you say, you challenge those thoughts by asking, is it true? Is it
Mhm.
really true? And like, I've done that. I'm like, yeah, I mean, is that true? Or we're just making this stuff up in our heads.
Mhm.
So I love that. You have something I heard you also call a morning check-in.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I have morning check-ins, and they are me every morning before anybody can talk to me, get anything from me, do anything in this house. I get to check in with me. I get to say, hey, how you feeling today? What do you need today? And I run through this process before we start the day. And it's necessary because I got to be good. I got these 2 kids running around. I got a husband running around. For a lot of us, that's another kid. Like, so it's like I got the dog. I got a lot going on. So it's
You
like
do.
I I got to make sure that I'm good. And if it's a day where I'm not, because like another thing that I'm trying to defeat, and I hope I can, is this thing on the internet about perfection. These,
The P word. The P
oh my
word.
gosh, it's
Mm-hmm.
horrible, right?
Yep.
It's like these people who are positive are not met with challenges. We're challenged every day, all day. So if it's a day where I wake up, say I'm feeling funky, because this also goes to the book. Monica woke up feeling funky, didn't check in with herself, and went crazy on everybody in her life. So I wake up, I'm not feeling good. All right, Julie, how are you feeling? I always start with a feeling. How are you feeling? "Oh, I'm not feeling too good today." Okay, what do you need? So if today's a day where I'm met with challenges, what do I need? And I will go through, okay, I'm tired. I got a lot going on with the kids and with the business and all these things. So I always have like a daily task list. So I have my household tasks, the tasks with the kids, the tasks with the business. I will move things around. Say I got 5 things to do on my business checklist. Well, today I only can handle 2 or 3. And those other things that I'm not getting due today, I will stretch them out through the week and place them into other days so I don't become overwhelmed in other areas. And I'll say, okay, well, I got a light load on Tuesday. I'll just add this in on Tuesday. I got a light load on Friday. I'll add this in on Friday. I'll make sure that I rearrange the furniture that day so that I can move through these spaces and be okay. So that it doesn't spill over onto my kids where I'm snapping and I'm going crazy on them, or my husband comes home and he's like, "What I do? You didn't take the trash out before you left, but you didn't know that was going to set me off today." Like all
Right.
these things. So I do that. And then I'll also make sure, and I don't know if I told you this, I tell my husband now. So I'm not feeling good. This is what I'm going to do today with me. This is what I'm going to do with the kids. This is what I need from you when you get home.
Love that.
That helps keep things in balance and helps the flow of things be a little bit better that day. I'm not about being superwoman. I'm not about being perfect. I'm about being like, hey, we on a trip to Crazy Town today. So this is what I need. And
I
like, let's just roll with it.
Yeah, and I think men respond better when we ask them something very specific that they need to do for us, whether it's give us space, whether it's give us a hug, whether it's give us just like leave us alone, right? Stay away.
Mhm.
And I think that's brilliant, and more women should do that. What do you do for self-care then? I hear you creating space in your day, which I think is brilliant. I think some of us moms, women, we want to do it all because we have to do it all. Like we feel like everything's going to fall apart if we're not doing everything on a certain day. So I love that advice. Give yourself juggle up, move the furniture around. But what do you do specifically for care? What do you do to take care of Julie
Okay,
on
so I
those
like
days
to
where, yeah,
swim.
swim? Oh, I love
Swimming
that.
is my thing. And like now that it's summer, I can swim outside. But I like to swim.
You like the water.
I like the water. I love the water. I like bubble baths. Like we got a lot of winter months. I like bubble baths. I love music. I like sitting alone and stretching to music, or just sitting there and unplugging, where the only words that go into my mind are the sounds of a song or a beat or something like that. I just like to unplug. Even when I'm in the water, I like to be in there until I zone out and all I can hear is the water.
Mm.
None of the sounds around me, none of the noise, just that. And I like to like go into myself and just be calm. Like if I can steal moments away to just sit on the floor and listen to music, or go to the pool and literally float on my back and just hear those sounds. That's it.
I
Because
love that.
everything is constant noise, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so I just like to unplug and go into sounds that I want. Selective hearing, right? Like, that's it.
Yeah. I love that. And it's so it's water for me is even if I just look at it, because I have a pool here and I look at the water, I'm like, oh, it's so soothing. Because water is very yin. Water is yin like, it's nurturing, it's emotions and all that. So it's a way kind of like to embody that lovely, like soothing energy. So
Mhm.
I love that. Um, you recently went on a vacation, your like first family vacation. How was that
Yeah.
for you?
It,
How was that like just I don't know. How was the vibe around all that? That
it
must have been
was
nice.
it was fun. It was fun. Okay, look.
You have
I
little
I
kids, right?
I
So
have little kids, so it was
yeah,
fun, but it was like crazy at the same time.
crazy fun.
Yeah. So it was like a lot of no, stop running, don't do that, come here, not safe. It was like a lot of like policing and
Yeah.
lifeguarding, but then it was like a lot of stopping and just watching and feeling. Like I was so sensitive on this trip for so many different reasons. And it was like I cried the day that we left. Like my husband's like, I think he did this thing. I think I got everything out the room. You want to go check before we leave? And I was like, yeah, I'll go do a check. So I go up to the room and I'm walking around the hotel room and like all of our stuff is gone. Everything's all, bed's all turned up. And I'm like
Oh,
looking around and I walk out on the balcony because the ocean, we had an ocean view and all that. And I stopped on the balcony and I was just like listening to the ocean and I was just like, thank you. Looked out in the sky and was just like, thank you. And then I started crying. Then I went down to the car because like, now I might get a little emotional here, but I never had that.
yeah.
Like, and it was a huge thing for me. Like, I never had that. Like, and watching my kids have that, it soothed my inner child so much. Cause I was like, I used to dream about this and wonder, what is that like for kids? Sorry.
No, you're
What is
making me cry too. I
it?
love that.
I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no. Don't be sorry. No sorries here.
Yeah, but I was just like, what is that like for a kid to like run on the beach and just be laughing and be happy and like parents like watching that and be laughing and being happy and like something that small did so much for me. And I went out in the ocean and I was just splashing around. I had a bodyboard, I was doing my thing, and a wave hit me and it sent me flying up to the shore. And I like scraped my stomach all on the beach. And I laughed so loud. There's a man like standing there, like, are you okay? And I was just looking at him laughing so crazy. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like looking at him just laughing, like
All this work that you're doing, connecting with your inner child, identifying the voices and the dialogue. How is this helping you become a different parent, like than what how you were raised, a better parent?
um gosh, that's a lot. Because I'm so aware that it hurts sometimes, you know? Um, I say things to my kids, like it's my 6-year-old. I tell him every morning, and I've been telling him since he was little when he wakes up, good morning, you are loved, you are smart, you are brave, you are strong, you are creative. I just keep adding things as we go. And the other morning I said to him, good morning, I love you. And I was like, do you know you're smart? He goes, I know, mom. Do you know you're creative? I know already.
Gotta come
What?
up with new words.
Yeah. I'm like, do you know you're brave? Yeah, I
I
know
love that.
already. Can I get my tablet? Like, but I'm glad he knows these things and like it, and those are the things that are becoming annoying to him because I'm just like, I words matter so much. The things that you speak over your children will come to life. Like
Absolutely.
he may have been completely annoyed with my affirmations, but he's gonna grow into this man one day that's gonna be confident. He's gonna know he had love. He's gonna know that he's strong. He's gonna know he's brave. He's gonna know he can overcome. He's gonna have this
Yes.
resilience in him.
Yeah.
And that's like all I want. That is all I want. I don't want them to live fear-based lives.
Yeah.
I don't want them to, be men that fear being loved or loving, being caring and kind, all these different things. So that is the big thing, is I speak life over them because I truly believe that death was spoken over me. So I breathe life into them, and then I'm not afraid of them telling me about myself. I'm not afraid to be accountable. I'm not afraid to apologize to them and tell them I'm not perfect and I need to do better. And when I'm not doing better, it's okay to tell me.
I love how you're communicating with your kids. Not only are you telling them that, they're like this brilliant and beautiful and wonderful, but you understand that this is going to help them become the person that is kind and loving and will treat others that way. And, it's like this ripple effect that you're moving forward, you know.
Mhm.
And you're juggling a lot. You're juggling family, you've written a book, your business, your podcast. I mean, how do you I know you move furniture around in your schedule. It's a lot of stuff. What you have anything else that you're working on down the pike? Like I know you've done film before. I kind of see a lot of things happening with you.
Oh my gosh. So, sink full of dishes. Okay, so I haven't made a short film. The last short film I made was in 2018, and it was a collaboration. So, I have this thing in me where I want to shoot Sink Full of Dishes as a short and put it out there, because I know like this world we live in now is so like, microwave, quick, quick, quick. So
Yeah.
everybody's not going to read the book, even though I designed the book for people to read it. It's only 72 pages. Like I just packed a lot of power into 72 pages. It's ready, set, go. And I literally was like, well, people might not read it, or they might not listen to I'm working on the audio version, but
Nice.
they will watch the short. So it's dinging off in my head, like the storyboard keeps. So I believe in the near future, you guys can expect the Sink Full of Dishes short film.
Nice. Um, Anything else you want to add before we wrap up? I have just loved our conversation, and your energy is so amazing and beautiful, and you're just so transparent and awesome. Anything you want to share? Anything else?
Mm, I don't know. I think I covered a lot.
Yeah.
Read the book. Everybody read the book. Like, I promise you, when you start reading it, you're going to read it in a day. Everybody, I haven't had any couple day readers yet. Everybody that's reached out told me they read it in a day. And then they went back. Well, one person told me she read it 3 times. She read it 3 times,
I
and then
love
she
that.
went back and she started doing the workbook. So in the book, I wrote it because my background is in film and television. I wrote it like a stage play. So there's acts, and in between each act, there's an interlude, and those interludes have questions. So first, I break down what
That
happened so you can understand, because it again ties back into something. So each act, I break down at the end of it in the interlude what happened, where all this came from. Then I give you tools that you can use to kind of redirect that power. And then I give you a workbook that says, okay, now that you have all this information, because I want to slow you down. Our minds are so busy all the time. I want to slow you down and have you really tap into this. So then it's like, have you ever experienced this? What did you feel while you were reading this? What can you do to redirect that power? And then I let you, after the interlude, go into the next act. And this is how the book is structured. So
I love that.
I and it's just a lot of Monica. Like, she's on a rampage. Like, and I want you guys to read it, because like the rampage is, it's literally like, we don't think about, if we wake up in the morning and we're not feeling good, because we do. We got a lot going on, especially moms, especially
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, maybe you didn't get enough sleep, you got all this stuff going on, but you still got to tackle the day. If you don't tap into that, even if it's only 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, if you don't tap into that feeling and to your needs to soothe that feeling, you won't even realize it once you start spiraling in all the different areas in your life that you will be setting bombs off in until it's too late. And that's what happens in the book. Monica wakes up funky, goes through the whole day, And then at the end of the day, when she realizes it, it's like, oh, wow, that's a mess.
Mm.
And then it's letting us know that that's okay. You recognize the mess. You know it's there. Give yourself some grace. Be kind to yourself. And let's make sure we can prevent this from happening again. That's it.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. And that your book just is even richer by exploring, you know, with questions and prompts and tools. That I love that. I see a sink full of dishes book club and like gatherings. I just like my mind starts to go and I'm like, I could see all that for you.
I forgot to say, I have a group.
See?
So join the Sink Full of Dishes Facebook group. I'll send you the link to it. I
Yeah,
should have
send me
sent
the
you that.
link.
I'll send you the link to the group.
Yeah, I
Join
think
the
you did.
group. I talk about all kinds of stuff in the group. I ask you about the book, where you're at in the book. I put little videos in there. I got like
Love that.
jokes and stuff that I share about myself and Monica. Like, join the group.
And I am going to share all of that with the audience. Thank you so much, my friend. You are a beautiful shining light. Thank you for your work. Thank you for everything. Many blessings to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.